Hello, my name's Marcus. This is a 3dsmax tutorial looking at UV layout texturing, so we can lay out our mesh flat and get it ready for our art program to make our texture. I know I was doing some video tutorials on looking at the basics of modelling, and we were doing a quick character, but I think I'll jump the gun here and do this texture tutorial. Okay. If I'm just going to open up the head, okay, from the tutorial, the previous tutorials on modelling, and let's texture this. Okay, so at the moment we've got a symmetry, and it's an editable poly with a symmetry modifier on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the iterations to 1, so it's a little less complicated. And selecting the symmetry, we'll switch that, collapse it, so it's one object. Okay, I've created various buttons that I use quite often, and what I've created is an editable UVW map, sorry, and an unwrap UVW button, okay, which we can create from here. But you can just get them from your modifier list. So first of all, we're going to attach a UVW map modifier. So yeah, UV map, and with its default setting, you'll see that we're presented with this planar, this sort of plane, like a wireframe of a plane. And if you think of it as a lens of a camera, okay, what it's doing is it's taking these top polygons flat. So for the side, obviously, we're not going to it's not going to draw those polygons very well at all, because it's only taking the polygons from the y-axis. Okay. Of course, it would be taking the bottom ones as well, fine, but just not around the sides, which is really the more important pieces, really. Okay. So if we hit our cylinder, there's different kinds of mapping, but we'll go for cylindrical, and you can see that it's drawing all the sides and the front really nicely, but it's not going to be drawing the top or the bottom very well. Okay. If we go for spherical, it's doing it a bit better. It's going to be drawing them not too great at the top, not too great at the bottom, but again, it's doing okay around the sides, which is what we need. And box, again, is quite good. It's going to be drawing the detail quite well on all sides, top and bottom. Okay, but I'm going to go for a cylindrical. Okay, to change the settings for this mapping, we just simply click on the actual modifier so it becomes active, and we'll see the gizmo, and we can just scale that out. Okay. So let's apply a checker texture, and really this is just to see how it best draws a basic flat image, and we can see where the topology is and everything like that. So I'm just going to change this a bit, and if we just click on the diffuse button, we're going to go for a checker, and we're going to put the tiling to 5. You might want to put it a bit more or a bit less, whatever. I'm just going to apply that on there, show in viewport, and we'll close that. And you can see that we want this checker texture to be as square as possible, with not a great deal of distortion. And you can see there's all sorts of crazy distortion. And you've got to remember, this checker map is squares, and you can see that this doesn't really look very squarish. It's kind of looking a bit crazy, so we need to sort that out. So what we're going to do is apply a UV unwrap modifier. Okay, and it needs to be an editable poly, otherwise you won't get this. But if we expand that, you'll see select faces, which can be quite important, especially if you were using planar mapping instead of spherical or anything like that. So let's do these antennas quickly. If we click on select faces, all I'm going to do is, if we switch wireframe on, oops, so easy. Let's just start again, and we'll just grab these like so. Oh. Can you believe it? I've got back facing on. Oh, lovely. Okay, let's start again. My middle mouse button doesn't work, which is really quite annoying. Okay, so there's one done. So if we click on edit while we have our unwrap modifier selected, and you'll see its parameters. If we click on the edit button, you'll have this window. If we switch the texture off so we can see a bit better, you can kind of see that it's trying to do flatten this mesh out as best as possible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if we right click and go to detach edge verts, we can now break that apart like so. We'll stick that over there, and we'll do the same for the other one. So we go. It's really quite simple. Ah, you dog. There we go. So easy. There we go. That should be spot on. Right. Go back to our edit UVW window. Detach. We'll stick that over there like that. Okay. So you can see that we've actually not really made any kind of difference, because all we've done is just separated the UVs from the main head. So time to make this better. If we have our faces again, there we go. I'm just going to select those. Don't really want the other one selected. And that's spot on. That will do. If we detach verts, we'll move around here. Now, just like your move, scale, and everything in the main 3D program, you've got the same kind of options here. We can just move these about. And this is when things start getting a little crazy. Green lines are usually your boundary lines. Okay. Yeah, I think that's there. So we just move these out here like that. What? It's not easy. Okay. Right, if we just select these, 1080, these edge verts, and hold down on the scale button and we can scale in this direction. We can flatten that out and just keep going till it's square, and drag that out. And again, we're just going to be doing this for all of these. Pain in the neck. Alright, yeah. So, I think I'll only do one, okay, and we'll compare the job. So I'm going to scale down. Don't want that one. So everything's nice and square. There we go. Okay, that'll do. I'm overdoing it now. Switch my move tool back on, and for this one, I'm not going to do it as extreme as I did that one, but you get the idea. Actually, just undo all this. So now I need to just quickly grab these. Okay, I thought there was something a bit going on a bit crazy there. Okay. Actually, I think we'd be better if I pause this and finish this off. You get the idea, and I'll be back in a second. Okay. About right. So if we click on one of these verts, you can see that this corner. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll get the corresponding vert that would be attached to this. So at the moment, we need to kind of flip this. Okay. So if we select these and we hit that button, we should have flipped it. There we go. We're just gonna get this roughly the same, like so. Just drag them about. And then what we're going to do is, I think I'll just tidy this up a little bit more. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to use, if I click on this and target world, you can see that when we go over a vert, it will turn white, and if we let go, it will weld itself to that vert. So it's sewing our mesh together. Okay. So it's the texture will wrap much cleaner. Target weld. There we go. That'll do. And there's the top. So we'll just try and make that as circular as possible. And that'll do. So that's one antenna. If we go to our 3D view, I think I might put the tiling, increase the tiling on a checker, which might be a good idea. So I'll put that to about 9, like 9. And you can see here's the one that we've actually wrapped, and you can see that it's going much nicer. There's something crazy going on here, and it's just a case of, you know, grabbing these, you know, pulling them out a bit more. It's just all about tweaking. It really is. Okay, but it's good for an example. And you can see the actual bulbous head thing. It's a bit crazy, but it will do. Okay, so let's do the front of the head. Same idea. There's a few things going on a bit crazy around the front of the face. If I just go to a front view, take them away. Because they're already mapped. We don't need these. That should be right. It's a long, long job. Okay. It's in a bit on the nose. Okay. Get rid of some of them. And the bottom. Okay. Let's go back to our view. What we could do is we can start using the scale. Start bringing some of these things together. What I'm going to do is go into a perspective view and switch this on, and let's start working on this chin because it's a bit not very good. So we can see why I'm really let's just see what where those polys actually are. See, that's why we're getting the distortion, because they happen to be they're not mapped very well. So let's sort them out the best we can. Really not happy with that. What I'm going to do is detach, and don't be afraid of detaching things. I mean, if the texture map is going to look bad anyway, then you might need to make various breaks. So what I'm going to do is target weld. We'll weld these two together. So okay. We're going to need to flip that. There we go. So I'll just use that flip button. Okay. Because this vert was over here. So with that done, we should start getting some better results. Let's have a quick look. It's coming on. Let's just target weld these points together. It's fiddly. It's a fiddly business. Really, I'm just trying to get that the shape right now. Okay. The main idea is really giving yourself a nice surface to draw on. Really. So, nice surface is not easy to get. So you have a polygons hiding under polygons, and when you have polygons hiding underneath polygons, you actually when it comes to drawing on your 3D model, you're actually going to be drawing on two polygons without realising it. I mean, in some cases you might, to save on space, you'll want to do that. You'll want to actually have two polygons. I mean, like if you were doing a car, you could have the two sides of the car on top of each other. So by drawing on one side of the car, you're actually drawing on both, which saves on some nice space for other things. It's looking good. It's looking good. This is when things start getting a little complicated, because we again, like you can see, we've got polygons underneath polygons, which doesn't help. Okay. Let's give ourselves a little bit more space to draw in. And there's plenty of there's a lot of plugins out, texture plugins out there, but I mean, I've used them all, and to be honest with you, I always end up just coming back to the UV editor. I mean, there's Texporter and Chili Skinner, and they're not any easier or any better. They're just a different way of actually texturing. In Texporter, you can actually you're just doing exactly the same thing, but instead of using this UV editor window, you're actually breaking up your mesh and laying that mesh out flat, and then taking a photograph almost of your finished result, and then painting on that. And I mean, it's not any easier. I mean, it's not any easier, and it's not any better. It's just the same, really. And Chili Skinner does exactly the same thing. They're all a little too complicated for just doing something just as simple as this. Okay. You could spend all day pulling verts around. Right, we'll leave that. Okay. Let's start working on this. So this is our neck. And I think I'm going to grab these pieces. And yeah, to illustrate that, I think I'm going to do that. We'll take the same exact pieces, only yep. Okay. And we will go back to our editor, and we will attach verts. Like so. I'm going to flip this. We're going to just quickly do all that, and we'll just roughly give it the same. Okay, and we'll do the front. And do that. UVs. Oh, that's a mess. Okay. Start pulling these bits out. Okay. Okay. It's over there. Sometimes you'll need to really do quite a lot of work to get this any good. Okay. Let's just target world, just like we did the antennas, really. And that'll do. Well, this tutorial breaks into hours. There we are. So there's the you can see that the eyes are much nicer. There's a much nicer wrap on the eyes. You can see that there's almost you know, a complete checker tiling in his eye, which is nice, which is what we're after. There's still a lot of work to do though, so I'm gonna have to call it a day, and we'll carry on. Okay.